Hi, today I'm going to talk about a film that I like called Dogma and why this is very hard to come by, and when you do come by it, it's very expensive. So I'm going to have a quick look at Chrome to go through a few different pages and maybe explain, some of the resources that I use to try and find out information. I'm new to this, so forgive me if this looks rubbish. I don't know. Let's try. Transition. Okay, so this is Blu-ray.com. It's a great website. It's a community-run forum and archive of all Blu-rays, DVDs, even games, and digital as well. If you search for a film in here, it'll come up with, as long as you've got all countries ticked, it'll come up with that film and maybe a few others, and where it was released. Now you'll notice that Dogma had an American release, a Canadian release, 2 releases in Germany, which are genuine, and 1 release in Spain, which I suspect isn't genuine. So we'll look at this. Dogma on Blu-ray. New, $175, used from 68. Well, okay. That's going to set the tone, really, for this release. You can have a look at the audio quality, the video quality. It's a really great website. If you're not a member, you should sign up. It's totally free to do so. Let's have a quick look down here. Okay, so there's plenty of discussion and replies about this one. And there's the clue as to why it's so expensive. It's out of print. If you look on IMDb for Dogma, it's 7.3 out of 10. So, pretty well liked. I think that's quite a good rating, to be honest. I like the film. I think it's a really good film. And if I want to watch it right now, I'll go onto justwatch.com. I'll search for Dogma, and it'll say it's not available for streaming. Interesting. So maybe I'll search for it on Blu-ray, and I'll find out that it costs so much money, £100, maybe if you're lucky. We'll get to that in a second. But I'll look on Capsaholic. This is another great resource that I love. Capsaholic, you can search for the movie title up here, and it'll compare Blu-rays between different countries. This one, there's not much to compare, so it'll just show you the difference between the Blu-ray and the DVD. In case you're in any doubt, obviously, the Blu-ray looks a lot better. Doesn't look amazing, but, it's decent enough. And if you hover over it after you've picked what you want, that's the DVD right there. So that looks pretty blurry. There's no definition. It's not sharp. It's kind of poor. And that's the Blu-ray once again. This is a really good website just to show the difference. Usually it's fun for other reasons. You can compare Blu-rays from different places around the world, and you can find out which one has the better transfer. But in this instance, there's not many Blu-rays out there, so they're comparing the DVD, which is fine. You don't really want to buy the DVD, not in this day and age. If you try and watch this on a huge TV, it will look pretty poor. And as we just realised, at least in the UK, I can't even stream it. So, it's not ideal. DVDcompare.net, or Rewind as it's called here as well, is a good resource too. This will tell us the difference between the 2 Blu-rays that have been released, or at least 2 anyway. So there's the American / Canadian one, which is basically the same as far as I can tell, and then there's a German one. And there's 2 versions of it. I believe one is like a special edition. This one is just the standard edition. Is there a difference in the image quality? I don't know, actually. I've never seen this German one. But what it will tell you is about all the extras, the bonuses. It looks pretty comprehensive, the German release. It's got the same aspect ratio, same picture format, same audio by the looks of it. Dolby True HD. Oh, that's a DTS HD Master. Okay, so slight differences, but probably the same video. Who knows? I don't know. Either way, this is hard to come by too, $70. This one, even harder to come by. Yeah, absolutely wild. So let's have a look at eBay and find out what they're going for. Ignore this top one for a moment. Let's just have a look. I'm in the UK as well, don't forget. So maybe in America you might have more chance of coming across a better deal, but honestly, not much of a deal from what I can tell. Otherwise, I'd just import it. Like 140 quid is obscene. It doesn't even matter if it's sealed or not. £163.50, also obscene, ridiculous price for any Blu-ray, frankly. Import from Canada. This looks like a decent deal, but that's £42 shipping, so that's over £100. And then there's going to be VAT on top of that, so another 20%. So 120. This one, similar sort of story. It's even more expensive. We don't want that film. No way. This one, 70, 20, 90, 110 maybe in total. It's so expensive. All the same. So it's incredibly expensive. For my copy, I didn't pay that much, but it wasn't that far off. I think I didn't realise there'd be taxes on top because I'm an idiot. And I think overall it came to about £75, which is, again, it's too much money. I don't know why I did that. I like this film. Do I like it £75 worth? No. I must have just got excited one moment and went, yep, buy, and then, oh no. But yeah, essentially, if you're in this country, if you're in the UK, and you get it for less than £100, if you really want it and you get it for less than £100, you've done very well. I don't recommend anyone do that. And we'll come on to why shortly. On Amazon, we can have a look on there as well. Dogma. DVD, no. Blu-ray, 50 views in the past month, none for sale. That's one of the German ones. I don't know if the American one will be listed on here. Maybe this one? No, it's the same. So yeah, the two German ones, they're not out there. It's impossible to find. And the reason why is because they did an initial run of Blu-rays a long time ago. It obviously didn't sell well enough for them to think when it did eventually sell out, they needed to press a whole bunch more. Which is a real shame for people that like this film or people that grew to love it or discovered it later in life and they wanted a copy of it. It's just almost impossible to find. Now, there is recently, there's often developments. I just noticed that says £700. No. I don't know why. It's weird. There have been rumours recently from Kevin Smith that somebody is interested in buying the rights, which would allow Kevin Smith to either sell that on or release his own copies on Blu-ray. I'll take this off. I wonder, can I take this off? Yeah, I'm back. So, yeah, this one almost impossible to find, but it's not impossible that in the future there'll be another release thanks to Kevin Smith or this other company that are about buying the rights. They're owned currently by the terrible brothers, the Weinstein Company, and they're reluctant to let them go. I think they see it as they have potential to make money somehow out of this, or they want too much money to sell the rights. Terrible, horrible people. Holding the film to hostage, and that's a real shame, especially if you're a collector and you really want it. Will it happen? I don't know. There's a lot of collectors out there, interestingly enough, that don't want it to happen because this is worth a lot of money right now, and of course if it gets re-released, it'll be worth next to nothing again. Like, this should really cost like $5, $10. It's a good film. It's one of Kevin Smith's best, I think, for sure. But it's just a DVD, it's just a disc and there's nothing special about this. It's not like a limited edition or anything like that. It's a bog standard as it gets for a release. Do I think it'll come out 50-50? Surely one day. Maybe you have to wait until they die, and then the rights might revert back somehow. But I would not. I promise you, you're not really missing out on much if you don't buy this, unless you really, really want it. and you want it to look good in your collection, or you get a little bit drunk and spend a lot of money one day. I think I did the latter. I must have done the latter. I'm going to bring up the page again because I just wanted to let everyone know that somebody ripped it and put it on the Internet Archive. So you can download the film in 1080p. I mean, it won't be as good a quality as the Blu-ray. It will have gone through a lot of encoding and it will have lost a lot of its sharpness maybe, but it'll still be fine. This will be fine. If you just want to watch it, this will be fine. And it's on Internet Archive, which is weird. I think the reason why it's allowed to stay up here... Oh, wait, by Kevin Smith, do you think? I don't know. Maybe? No one's challenging this being up here, so I guess fill your boots. There you go. They're owned personally by those people. And it's out of print. So yeah, resellers are making an absolute fortune out of this from schmucks like me, but whatever. I'm a total rube when it comes to stuff like this. I will get it in my head that I want something and then just go ahead and buy it. Anyway, go here and watch it. If you really want it, God, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I say, honestly, don't worry about it. Please don't spend that much money. If you do spend that much money, leave me a comment and let me know. It's nice to know that you're not on your own. Anyway, that's the reason why it's out of print. It's not coming back. The rights are owned by people that aren't going to release it again, can't release it again, but won't sell it currently. And maybe they will one day. And it's the same story for so many different Blu-rays out there. I've got another one to show you. I'm going to come out of this again. I'm getting the hang of this OBS studio, I think. Okay, so this is another film. You probably haven't heard of this. It's called Kontroll. It's a Hungarian film that a Hungarian friend told me to watch. And it's pretty good. I like it. Let's have a quick look on the internet and we can find out a little bit more about this. Okay, so Blu-ray.com. Let's go to Kontroll. Now this is the German release, that's the one that I have. But this is a Hungarian film and it released originally in Hungary 6 years previously. Yeah, because it actually came out in 2003. So it took 6 years for the Blu-rays to stop being made and for the DVDs rather to stop being played and for them to release a Blu-ray. Weirdly, it's in 1080i, I think. It says 1080p, but I'm sure it's in 1080i. I think that's wrong. But what is interesting about it is that trying to buy a Hungarian Blu-ray outside of Hungary is just basically impossible. So there's a discussion here, which I'll click on, but we'll go into it in more detail later. Essentially, it's started in 2009, and there's not been many comments. It's not a particularly well-known film, and trying to find it is a nightmare. You can click on the link there and find out a bit more information about it. But yeah, Nimrod Antal's Kontroll. It's his first film. He went on to direct like Stranger Things episodes and stuff, and other films. He's good. He's definitely good. He's I believe, Hungarian-born maybe, but he's a resident of LA, and he has been maybe his whole life. I'm not sure. At least he has Hungarian ancestry. Not sure, but he went back to Hungary to do this film set in the Hungarian metro. And it's got a funny intro from the guy who's in charge of the metro saying, "Please don't assume that this is what we're like. I'm sure you realise that we're much nicer than the people portrayed in this film." Because the people portrayed in the film are not necessarily the nicest people in the world. Anyway, IMDb. What does IMDb say for Kontroll? Oh, it came up anyway, but there we go. Kontroll. So it's probably got less. 7.6, even higher. It's a pretty good film. You know, I really enjoy it. I think the characters are good. I think the acting's really good. For me, it looks great. The direction is fantastic. Look at that, it's beautiful shots. There's a lot of beautiful shots in here. For a first film, I think it's fantastic, and it obviously sent him on his way to do more and better films. I'm not sure if you can say the same for the actors. No idea. I don't know what it's like being a Hungarian actor trying to break out of Hungarian film into the wider world. Maybe it's impossible, not sure. Um, but the acting is good, and the characters are engaging and interesting, and it's very funny. Um, it's not meant to be necessarily the funniest film in the world. I think it's like a bit of a mystery, um, almost a bit of a whodunit kind of thing as well. But it is definitely funny, and I do recommend people watch it. Can you watch it in this country? Is the question. And oh god, I can't spell today. Kontroll. Here's the movie. It's not available for streaming, of course not, and it's not available to buy basically either. It won't appear on Capsaholic, I'm sure. I don't think it will anyway. No results for that. Not every film is going to be on there, especially if it's a rare or a non-US film, but it is on here. And this is basically just going to show you that this has got two releases. The Hungarian one by Budapest Film, long out of print. I've seen one for sale, I think it's on Facebook Marketplace, and even that was sold by the time I actually saw it. The German one is easier to get, but not. That's amazing. I recommend you go and buy. Well, I think you have to be in Germany. So usually it's like 40 quid. I got mine for 20 quid, believe it or not, from a thrift store in the US who put it online on eBay, and it cost about 20 quid. And I was very happy to get it for 20 quid. This saying 8.74, I think you're going to have to be on Amazon. You're going to have a German address, because that ain't working. I see this quite a lot. It'll say that it's there, but if it says delivered to the United Kingdom, then it will only show you the ones that are genuinely available, and that's those two. So if you're in Germany, it might be worth picking that up. I mean, you won't get much on the resale market. It's not like Dogma where you can sell it for loads of money, because people don't care about it. Like, if people don't know that this exists. If I look on eBay for this, will it come up? I don't even think it'll come up. Not troll. I need to learn how to type better. Okay, so I mean, this is all just random garbage. None of this is the film itself. Sorry if you like these films, I don't know. And I don't even know, will it come up? I spelled it right. Hooray. Movies, maybe? Probably not. No, the only way you can watch this film, if you can't get hold of a German disc, no, nothing there, is you'd have to pirate it, and it's not ideal, is it? You don't want to have to do that. You want to be able to buy whenever you can. But again, this one, because it was not a hugely popular film, it's just impossible to find anywhere. I wanted to show you one more thing about this before I turn off. And I actually did find somebody who owns the Hungarian version and got them to send me some screenshots, and I compared them to the German version, which is that one, to see what the quality was like. And what I found annoyed me no end, frankly. Got an advert there. Right, so I did the screenshots of it, screen caps. And this is the Hungarian release. Now, it doesn't look like sensational. It's very grainy, but it's 34 megabits a second, so it's a large file size. It's on a dual-layer disc, and it's sharp. It's sharp. You can read everything nicely. It could probably have done with having a very minor amount of noise reduction, perhaps, just to take the edge off it a little bit. But then in some shots it looks great. I think that looks great. You can see so much detail. This one especially, so much detail. It's got a little bit of, I feel like, is it chroma colouring or something? Maybe just like a hint of noise reduction might have helped a little bit, but it's still sharp. Now if we go back to the top, I look at this version, this one that still costs like 40 quid if you're in the UK, or 20 quid if you're lucky like I was, and it's just blurred and smeared and horrific. Like, they might think that it looked better because it's cleaner, it's got a cleaner image, but they've taken all the grain and all the detail out. It's not, this is sharp, this is not. Like, you're blowing this up onto a huge 50-inch screen, maybe a 100-inch projector or something. This does not look great. This one here, you think, oh, it doesn't look too bad, but I can't read what that says. And it will be the same for other words, obviously, but this is an example. Like, that is meant to say control. That's what it should look like. That's the detail that you're looking at and that you're missing when you just DNR it to death, blur it out, halve the file size and the bits, like 20 megabits per second on the general release. It absolutely crushed the film. So some shots, it looks a little easier on the eyes in some ways, but for me, I think it looks really poor. Like, this is a great shot to compare. Look how blurry it is. And then, look how sharp and nice that is. This is how it was meant to look. It was shot on film. It's fine. It's totally fine. And having seen clips, I can promise you that the German release is subpar. It's good enough to watch, of course. But it is such a shame that they took the original intent and the original image and just absolutely destroyed the picture and crushed it out. Something serious. I think it looks really, really poor. So what a crime against the film. It's horrible, isn't it? I think it's horrible anyway. So another out of print film, and I've got a couple of others that are really difficult, but for different reasons. I have a couple of UHDs that are incredibly expensive for no good reason, or this shouldn't be for a good reason anyway, but we'll come on to that in the next video. The next video is about box sets. It's about films that are only released in box sets, and you can't buy them individually, and why that absolutely annoys the hell out of me. And I'll give some examples of that as well. But in the meantime, I hope that, that maybe answered a few questions, and maybe I hope actually kind of put you off like the idea of trying to hunt these out, because you don't want to get like me, where I just think I need that film and you'll do anything for it. Or maybe you do. Maybe that's the kind of person that I want watching this channel. If you do, leave a comment below. Again, I'd love to know that I'm not on my own, but at the same time, consider this a warning. Out of print films, they might come back. Maybe they'll get a UHD release one day. Maybe they'll never come back. Maybe the price will continue to shoot up. It's a real minefield. But think hard before you drop that kind of money, especially on a film that you can find on Internet Archive for free. I don't think it's worth it. Right, that's enough for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.